Stand by, News Net 5 for live shot. All right, cue him.
WPTV is remembering 70 years of broadcasting in South Florida.
This is your friendly announcer.
Moving from Palm Beach to West Palm Beach.
Can you believe that we had a TV studio that was tiny on that big, what is now a huge condominium?
Live.
Our home changed, but our commitment to news excellence has never wavered.
I really think you have to get it right.
From Finland to Russia, Cuba, Haiti, the Bahamas.
The devastation across Marsh Harbor is widespread.
To the City of Light.
I'm Todd Wilson.
And I'm Frances Payton. We're live here in Paris for the Olympic Games.
Thank you for waking up this early with us. You know that?
Our local news team has traveled the globe, covering the stories that matter to you.
And I'm Jim Sacket.
And this is Jerusalem.
A standard of news excellence woven through 70 years.
I talked to Jim Sitton. He's going to shoot.
Every single newscast from morning to night. The mission? Serving our community. We are paging through our local history through the lens of WPTV. Good evening and welcome to this 70th anniversary celebration of WPTV. This next hour, we are celebrating local television history.
And speaking of history, we're here at City Place in downtown West Palm Beach, and this special spot has transformed the downtown area over the decades.
Now tonight we're going to take a look at some of the events that have shaped our 5-county community and the people who have been a part of our legacy.
We begin by casting our lens on the rich history of WPTV, the very first TV station to sign on the airwaves right here in our little piece of paradise.
We have team coverage tonight.
For 70 years, our lens has captured history, from JFK to Donald Trump, the rich and famous and often infamous.
We are in the southern eye wall of this storm.
Through the years, weather would test our resolve, but as those winds died down, the political storms.
The nephew of Senator Ted Kennedy was formally charged 6 weeks after the alleged rape.
Those high-profile trials lingered like hanging chads, often steering our nation.
In the end, the canvassing board stuck to its original method of counting the dimpled chad.
From anthrax to COVID, one thing has endured, a deep sense of service.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rochelle Scholes.
And I'm Tom Dunn.
Truth and community.
TV5 will begin our Food for Families food drive.
They would become the pillars of WPTV.
This is where it all started. TV5 officially signed on the air as WJNO TV from this building right in back of me.
It was 1954 when Channel 5 hit the airwaves. Back then, life was different in South Florida. West Palm Beach was much smaller. The Philadelphia Athletics played their spring training games here. Beauty contests were big along the beach. The hair was different. Shoes were selling for $2 a pair. Northerners told Boynton Beach was a great place to live. For entertainment, the Palm Beach Speedway was the place to go on weekends. Then, a new dynamic was added to the lineup. The station signed on as WJNO. 2 years later, it became WPTV. The staff was small, the facilities tiny in that slat house on Coconut Row in Palm Beach.
That's the slat house, yes. So the top of it is still there. That cupola is still there in the slat house. Here, this is it.
Bernadette O'Grady has been part of the PTV family for more than 4 decades.
This is the first opening script that was announced when we first signed on the air.
Despite the tight quarters, they produced children's programs, news, weather, and sports.
All right, folks, the regular high school football season ends tonight.
Even this segment called Sipping Coffee, which had its share of celebrities.
I'm home tomorrow because we have to start working on the Vietnam show. In fact, that's my car.
That's just what you say. They did a lot of live things like that to sort of give people the flavor of this is where you live and this is what's going on. Any good broadcast station realizes that you are almost like a utility for the viewer.
The equipment was crude by today's standards, but their goals, lofty.
We can take you right to the scene to witness the making of history.
Often loading up and taking the news on the road.
Good afternoon and welcome once again to King of the Lanes, the fastest 15 minutes in television.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is your friendly announcer.
In 1971, the station would move from Palm Beach to Flagler Drive in West Palm Beach. Jack Howard, the Howard of Scripps Howard, which owns WPTV, flew down for the celebration.
I don't recall that I've ever crossed the water and been so welcome when I got to the other side.
Company and community leaders were all there for our news station's debut. The facilities were lavish for the time. Big offices, new furniture and equipment, and a newsroom with room to spare.
It was a Herculean task to move an operation like that. It was also to give us more prominence and let more people see us. The average, people in downtown driving up and down Flagler Drive, and give the station a presence there.
Breaking news from WPTV News Channel 5.
The news reputation Channel 5 has today started in those early days.
I'm Bill Gordon, news director of the WPTV Dateline News Service.
Accuracy was the most important part of being WPTV News Channel 5. You had to get it right.
Former anchor Laurel Sowers stepped back in time, meeting us at Royal Poinciana Plaza, touring the old slat house where it all began. We pulled up a chair at the incomparable Saint Ambroise, just a block away.
I remember the live era, being able to transmit a signal live and have a reporter live on the scene, and the anchor be able to toss to that reporter was an amazing feat of engineering. And Channel 5 led the way. They always had the first live truck. They had the first satellite truck. We were the kingpin of news in this area, and well deserved. We earned it.
Sacket and Sauer, the most watched news team from Vero Beach to Boca Raton.
Eventually, our station would move again, this time from our perch along the Intracoastal Waterway.
Wait till you see our brand new home.
To a new building in 2001 on Banyan Boulevard. The technology here launched us into the future. The first local station to go digital.
That was the dawn of the new era.
Well, hi, I'm Tony Glenn, your Atlantic weatherman.
This powerful instant tool is what you need when severe weather is headed our way.
Weather dominance has always been a huge part of WPTV.
Channel 5 has a tradition of staying on the air during hurricanes.
Broadcasting from the transmitter when Hurricane David hit in 1979, and fighting to stay on the air when Hurricane Francis struck.
Telling people to stay away from this area.
We're getting hammered out here. We're southeast of Channel 5 right now.
That is a transformer blowing, which may have further contributed to the fact that we are without power here.
We are in the southern eye wall of this storm. Kim Malloy that you were just talking to, he's in the northern eye.
Channel 5 has always been there, helping you pick up the pieces after storms.
I'm Bill Goodwin. I've been here almost 41 years.
The same was true right after Hurricane Andrew.
My job is to come in here and essentially put the show on clean.
Bill was calling the shots for one of the biggest live events in our station's history.
I remember doing a large telethon right after Andrew.
Welcome to Face to Face.
From big debates
To the Point with Michael Williams.
to the longest running political talk show in Florida. WPTV would go on to host the area's first Spanish language show.
En las instalaciones del Zoológico de Palm Beach.
Through all of our phases and our stages.
Hunger is a daily reality, but now there's something we can do to help. TV5 will begin our Food for Families food drive.
WPTV's late and legendary general manager Bill Brooks added a new level of service, rolling up his sleeves, launching a community-wide food drive.
And he said, never forget, Bernadette, we feed hungry people. Yeah. He's right.
Together, we're making a difference in our community.
Food for Families, in addition to the Race for the Cure, were the two projects that I really felt embraced the entire station.
The breast cancer survivors of West Palm Beach.
Let's face it, WPTV is unmatched in community engagement in this market, and they've set the bar, and that's why the standard is so high.
I mean, and that really started with, the atmosphere that already existed.
The power has just been turned on.
Since its first days, Channel 5 has built a legacy, shining a light in dark places, giving voices to those who have none, a source of strength and truth.
There's more to television than making money. You can be a force for good with your public service exposure.
And a deep caring for our neighbors.
The key moments for me were the hurricanes.
Channel 5 was the station that people watched to get the latest information on any storms, weather.
You turned to him for decades. He earned your trust and shared your hopes and concerns. For 33 years, Jim Sacket was the face of WPTV. Tonight, catch up with him as we celebrate our 70th anniversary.
He came to WPTV thinking it might be just one more stop on his broadcasting journey.
Happily for him and fortunately for viewers across the Palm Beach and the Treasure Coast, Jim Sacket stayed.
And across 33 years, until his retirement in 2011, he became the most trusted voice on the airwaves here, a gentleman and journalist of the first caliber. And I had the great pleasure of catching up with Jim once I could get him off of the softball field. Jim Sacket loves softball and his voice.
I have a runner because I'm slow as molasses.
Gifted from the broadcasting gods, commands attention. It always has. From the diamond.
We got 2 down.
To the news studio.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Sacket.
To the fast food line.
These two ladies turned around and they said, are you Jim Sacket? I said, yeah. They said, I thought so. I recognized your voice. My voice? Yes. And to this day, Michael, people still recognize me first for my voice and then the way I look.
Jim sent a tape of his work to WPTV in 1978. The rest is history.
It was a time in local broadcasting, especially at Channel 5, when I would work nights. I'd get off the air at 11:30. I'd rush home to go to sleep so that I could get up and come back to work. It was that much fun.
Jim grew as the West Palm Beach Treasure Coast area grew with him. He became the most watched anchorman in the market for decades and retired on top in 2011.
You became synonymous with television news at a time when you did have voices of authority in a community, and you wore that mantle with a lot of pride and humility. Talk about that.
Well, I appreciate the compliment, but I didn't realize it. I didn't see it from that perspective. The only way I can answer that is I would go on the air every night, and I would present the facts.
Jim didn't take sides, and he didn't sit still. He filled his career with far-flung datelines, including Russia.
We had an opportunity to go to Russia at the fall of communism, and we stayed with a family in Kiev.
There was reporting from Israel.
And I'm Jim Sacket. This is Jerusalem, the center of Israel.
Had an opportunity to very briefly interview Benjamin Netanyahu. He was at a time when he was really on the outs in the Israeli government.
And always, of course, covering the critical stories at home.
The key moments for me were the hurricanes. Channel 5 was the station that people watched to get the latest information on any storms, weather, especially the hurricanes.
Political hurricanes, too, like the hanging chads that put Palm Beach County at the heart of presidential election controversy in 2000.
Yeah, we got into the thick of it. It was in our backyard.
But no dateline, no story touched Jim like the one he told for 3 decades.
Jim Sacket and Thursday's Child, only on Action
Thursday's Child, a focus on finding adoptive homes for children. Jim would go anywhere to profile those children.
Took 2 sibling groups to Finland through the generosity of the Finnish American Society in Lake Worth, and we went over there for a week and shot two segments of Thursday's Child in the middle of winter in Finland.
The hard newsman with a very soft heart.
It was a success.
Was it one of the great joys of your career?
Yes, very much so.
The shared joy and work of a newsroom, being part of the community, getting the news and getting it right.
A television station's newsroom becomes of family.
And through it all, there was the career newsman.
Do you ever miss the hurly-burly of it?
Yes, I do sometimes. There were times when you're ready to pull your hair out, but there are other times when everything kind of falls into place.
And one still imagines it, his unflappable, assured, authoritative presence.
It's kind of an ironic thing to say, but when you're doing what we do and a storm or a hurricane comes by, everybody else runs away. What do? We run to the situation.
And no one ever did it better than Jim Sacket.
From all of us here at News Channel 5, thank you for joining us. Good night, everybody.
Not bad for a guy who came here from Bangor, Maine and said he might stay a few years. Not bad at all. And Jim told me that one of the things that he felt so fervently about was the fact that for all the work he did on air, it was the giant behind the scenes, Bill Brooks, general manager, legendary general manager. He had such high praise for him. You at home are going to hear a lot more about him a little later on.
We all, as the WPTV family, we were blessed by both of those giants.
Yeah, definitely. And Jim Sacket, I mean, what else can you say? And what a voice. Recognizable anywhere he went.
What a voice, what a broadcaster.
I look back with such fondness and such gratitude for the career that I had and all of the people that I met.
Kelly Dunn's career spanned for nearly 4 decades here at WPTV. We caught up with her in North Carolina as the station celebrates 70 years of broadcasting.
She is a veteran journalist who spent her entire career at WPTV. Right now, Kelly Dunn is enjoying retirement and a much quieter life in North Carolina.
I and my family have had the great pleasure of visiting Kelly and her family in their mountain home, looking out to a breathtaking view each day. How fitting for a breathtaking lady, beyond measure. Really wonderful person to know.
Well, I caught up with Kelly as she looks back at some of her stories that made a difference in the community.
I ended up staying at Channel 5 for 36 years, retiring 2 years ago.
Kelly Dunn, a fixture at News Channel 5 for more than 3 decades. Her years reporting on hundreds of stories made our station stand out. Among them, Kelly's special report called Seeing Red.
The word is getting out, which means vision and lives are being saved.
It highlighted a grandmother's quest to get a specific eye exam mandatory for little kids. Pam Bergsma's grandson Joey, who was a toddler, died. Kelly's story raised awareness about retinoblastoma, a cancer that starts in the retina.
I remember being so struck by the fact that you could potentially photograph a tumor growing in a child's eye. I had never heard that. Our audience had never heard that. It was an incredible story to tell. I felt so honored. We did a number of interviews with Pam over the years as she continued to go to Tallahassee and fight for laws to be changed to make sure at well baby visits that children had the proper tests being done to them and to their eyesight to catch this early enough to save vision and to save lives.
There was also a weekly segment, Kelly's Heroes.
Keep my eye on the ball, right?
Yeah. Eye on the ball.
I did Kelly's Heroes stories every week for 20 years. It was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it because it featured regular people, but regular people who did amazing things in the community. My lifetime friends are mainly people that I worked with all those years at WPTV. We just bonded, and there was such a great sense of camaraderie with the folks in the newsroom.
Kelly looks back at her 36 years in journalism with fondness.
Happy to retire 2 years ago, and now I live in the mountains of Western North Carolina and could not be happier. I highly recommend retirement. It is an incredible feeling when you've worked nonstop since you were about 21 years old.
Now, from the #1 rated television station in Florida, this is Today on 5.
Good morning, I'm John Favoli, and thank you for making us part of your early Wednesday morning.
We felt an obligation to the people who invited us in their homes every day to do the best job possible, and for me, it had to be right.
Get it right. Yeah, for sure.
It was TV magic. John, Roxanne, and Dean. We are getting this morning crew back together, celebrating 70 years of broadcasting excellence.
The service and commitment to community begins with WPTV leaders, but it trickles down to staff who make this work their calling.
And that was true for 3 former WPTVers.
I caught up with Roxanne Stein, Dean Tendrich, and John Favoli. They all hung up their microphones a few years ago, but they all say the culture of WPTV will never leave them.
Can you believe that we had a TV studio that was tiny on that big, but is now a huge condominium? Unbelievable.
One by one, they started arriving.
Here we are, strange but true.
I haven't seen John in so long. Here we go.
Oh, there she is. Look at this. Oh, how pretty. Hey.
3 pillars of WPTV history. For a large swath of our 70 years, every morning started with John Favoli, Dean Tendrich, and Roxanne Stein.
From the #1 rated television station in Florida, this is Today on Fox.
Good morning, I'm John Favoli, and thank you.
The 3 known for their quick wit.
You don't get this at 6 o'clock at night.
And you weren't here at 3:30 to find out what was really going on.
And no-nonsense news approach.
You had to do it right. There was one way, the right way. And if you don't know, ask. If you make a mistake, be accountable.
Thank you for waking up this early with us.
This team dominated the AM airwaves. Today, they all met us here at the prestigious Yacht Club on Flagler Drive in West Palm Beach.
Time flies.
A long overdue reunion.
Clap 3 times for us.
And our cameras were rolling.
Wasn't that a Tony Orlando song? Clap 3 times
through the window if you want me.
Something like that.
As we captured the fun and fast-moving banter. That reunion just ahead.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
And you're finding the coffee cubes right over there.
But first, we're dipping into the kitchen with Dean, talking tennis with Roxanne.
Here we go.
And jumping on board with John.
And we're moving.
For a quick tour of paradise.
And today's a nice day.
It is a nice day. Any day on the boat's a nice day.
Pretty much.
Finding out just how the WPTV legacy lives on.
It's Monday for all of us.
In each of them. We began in this Palm Beach Gardens bagel shop, catching up with Dean Tendrich.
Hi.
Gorgeous. What?
Hi. Good to see you. Look at you.
Welcome to Brooklyn Water Bagel.
Wow.
Today, we pull up a stool.
Yes, that one, they just got the construction permit.
Dean, now a franchisee in a string of new bagel stores.
Oh, I do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, from baking to cleaning.
For 12 years, Dean was the super smart morning meteorologist. He could flip a switch to the funny side in seconds flat.
All right, then.
See you later.
I almost called you Dennis.
Huh?
Dean.
please.
Dean, Dennis, it's close.
That's okay, Jim.
All right, anytime there, Billy Bob.
Channel 5 for me, I was hired to be the weekend weather anchor. They asked me if I wouldn't mind doing the morning and noon broadcast. And I said, well, let me think about that. I'll get back to you.
In like 5 seconds.
5 seconds later, I said, of course I'll do that. What I didn't tell them is I would do it for free.
Yeah.
Dean eventually joined his dad in their family business.
Broadcasting was a terrific career, but I also knew that there were other things that I wanted to do and accomplish.
The lessons he learned from his father
Was the tenacity and the consistency, just being steady in business, always being honest and truthful.
Whether you live in Pompano Beach or Vero Beach, Action 5 News is looking out for you.
3, 2, 1.
They were tenets he also found at WPTV, woven into that slogan, coverage you can count on.
Sunrise on 5.
Coverage you can count on.
But whether Dean served you here,
You can pick either the medium roast, the Brooklyn infusion,
or now serves you here,
delivering a sandwich to someone or refilling the napkins. I do it all because I enjoy it.
All right, we've got juice. Yeah, on a nice day, this is great.
Enjoying life seems to be a theme.
It's always a good day when we can get out here, and it's not choppy, it's not too windy.
It's how we found John Favoli.
Anytime. You did good. Yeah. Just hop on the boat and go.
Retired now, he and his wife Shannon are often out cruising the intracoastal.
In full transparency, my wife is the boater. I'm more Gilligan than I am skipper. But we get the job done.
And it was a job well done 3 years ago when John signed off at WPTV.
5 seconds, 4, 3, we got to roll.
Loving life. I can't complain. I'm not living by the clock anymore. People don't understand waking up at 2 in the morning. That's just not normal. Right. Who wakes up at 2 in the morning? TV people who do early morning news.
John Favoli.
It wasn't the Titanic, it was more like the SS Minnow.
But for 26 years, John made it look easy.
You know, we did it, and I'm proud of what we did. I feel blessed that I was able to be there and enjoy the role that we played in the success overall of Channel 5. It is a legacy station, has been from the very beginning, continues to be that way. The slogan, coverage you can count on, I mean, we tried to live that every day.
A similar sentiment from Roxanne Stein.
Do you know, Shannon, I have so much gratitude for having the privilege of being a part of WPTV's history.
So much for bad hair days.
I got to be a part of that 70-year history for 25 years. Wow. We needed to be the best we could be. That's what viewers are owed. I always said viewers deserve to have the very best we can give them.
We're in it for the long haul.
Looks like it's starting to blow out there. Come on inside.
And both John and Dean will tell you it was Roxanne's standard of excellence that set the tone every day.
And yes, we were blessed in front of the camera, but we were also blessed in back of the camera to have great teams, photogs, editors, assignment, producers. I watch these kids and they're so at ease and they're so good.
Tennis, now her passion in retirement.
Every day? You're out here on the
Oh,
courts?
if I can be, sure.
Yeah. Riding? No.
No, I stopped riding.
For years, Roxanne shared her life and love of her horse Bamboo with our morning news family.
Bamboo? Oh, now look at me. Bamboo sadly passed away in August of 21.
Roxanne tried to keep riding, but no more.
A horse bucked me off, broke my neck, shattered my face. And so I had a big recovery. I maybe have a better nose than I had before. It was pretty scary. He says, I'm not so shy anymore.
Today, she still visits the barn.
There we go, there we go, there we go. Yes, yes, yes.
But stays grounded and just enjoys bonding.
He's quite friendly. Hi, how are you?
Roxanne also stays busy around town.
Hi.
They call you the mayor of Wellington.
Oh, the unofficial. I mean, you know, we have great leadership. I call it my hometown. People joke because I've been here for so long and was involved with the chamber and some other events here. The unofficial mayor of Wellington.
Hey, there she is.
So today, the unofficial mayor drops by the yacht club. This WPTV reunion now complete.
You know, I don't know what I wouldn't do for you.
Yeah, same.
Or you.
Yeah.
Same here. Same here. You're okay. I don't care what they say about you. You're all right.
Oh, he said that.
I love you guys.
I love you too.
Break! Those $1 million condos behind them stretching to the sky is where our old one-story studio once stood.
There it is.
Yeah.
Don't make me turn that way. It hurts.
Yeah. Oh. My neck.
Well, I think the legacy of WPTV, you were a part of the community, and being part of the community meant you served your community.
You're representative of that community. I can go on any of the national outlets and get international, out of this world news. I can't find out what's going into my community, though, unless I'm watching Channel 5.
It was so much fun and such a privilege, really, to dip in on each of these rock stars, really, here in our community and with WPTV. We had so much fun really reminiscing about the old days and news and the commitment to the community, and they really are still living WPTV every day. It was a fun and fascinating conversation there at the Yacht Club, and we pieced it all together for you, edited it down, and we posted it on our website. It's a great conversation. You have to check it out. It's on WPTV.com right now.
I think it's great because it it showed us their personality. They're the same. They haven't changed. Years have gone by and they're still the same. They get together, they pick up right where they left off, and I love that.
And you're reminded they're not these anchors who are untouchable. They're very real people connected in a very profound way to the community in happy times, in tough times, holding hands, sharing laughs, sharing hugs, sharing the stories of the community, and very much intertwined into the fabric of the community, and still very much are. It's a beautiful story.
Stories that bind us all together.
But I think what I tried to convey in my long and happy run was that there's more to television than making money, and that you can be a force for good with your public service exposure.
Remembering a leader and a pillar of the community, Bill Brooks, a general manager at WPTV for 17 years. Tonight, the culture he created that still lives on in our hearts today.
A legend in Florida broadcasting honored this summer in West Palm Beach. A longtime beloved manager, Bill Brooks, served as the general manager of WPTV for almost 17 years.
And he was posthumously inducted into the Florida Broadcasters Hall of Fame alongside 8 other inductees. But before becoming a general manager, Bill was a Catholic priest.
He preached about loving God and thy neighbor, and he lived those lessons himself his entire life. Tonight I look back at his life and at his legacy.
I think what I tried to convey in my long and happy run was that there's more to television than making money, and that you can be a force for good with your public service exposure.
Bill Brooks, general manager at WPTV News Channel 5 for 17 years. His heart for people leaving a mark in the community. Before a career in broadcasting, Bill was a priest from Boston, settled in West Palm Beach as a teacher and counselor at Cardinal Newman. He left the priesthood working at a crisis line started by Dr. Robert Alsafrum. Bill was the executive director there in the early 1970s. That crisis line is known today as 211. Sister Mary Francis worked with Bill.
His administrative capabilities, and most importantly, his compassion toward people, his caring for them. He was an original thinker. He thought out of the box.
In 1972, Bill married Muffy Finnegan, a former nun. His love for people as a priest, it carried over when he started working at News Channel 5 in 1975 as a public service director, then the station's general manager.
But some families in our community are not so fortunate. For them, hunger is a daily reality. But now there's something we can do to help. On Wednesday, October the 16th, TV5 will begin our Food for Families food drive.
Bill saw a need in the community and started Food for Families in 1985. Even while collecting food, Bill did not shy away from jumping in and helping. His love for people also showed behind the scenes with his employees, treating them like family.
He knew everybody. He knew not only, knew everybody in the newsroom, he knew your full name, your middle name, your dog's name, your spouse's name. He was just one of those people who really took the time to get to know his employees. And that's why it felt like a family. It was literally an extension of everyone's family.
Bill retired in 1998, but as a faithful servant, he didn't stop helping the community. He turned his focus to politics, several years as a Palm Beach Town Council member. Bill passed away at the age of 76 in 2010, losing his battle to lymphoma, but his legacy lives on.
It's a team effort. I simply represent many, many wonderful people who I was blessed to work with.
Bill made such an impression on my life. I remember when he interviewed me for a job after my internship was over, and he had a statue of a dog in his office. And I saw the statue move, and I was startled. And he goes, "What's wrong?" He goes, "That's my dog, Joe." And I went, "Oh my goodness, the dog is real." And he said, "Do you like dogs?" I said, "I do." He goes, "Good, you're hired."
Right sentiment, right answer.
It was a requirement. You had to meet Joe to get a job at WPTV, and Joe had to like you first.
I like it a lot. What a beautiful man. I only had the pleasure when I came up here many years ago, now 13, I'm a short timer here, 13 and a half years ago, but I met him before that, and he was a giant in the industry, and I just remember the figure he cut in this community.
His legacy lives on in all of us.
Looking back and moving forward, tonight WPTV and the people who made this station what it is today. A look through the eyes of one of our photojournalists.
What was the strangest story? That has to be when I took off my toupee.
So what you see is what you get. And boy, does this feel great.
Fun moments and memories that last a lifetime as we celebrate 70 years of news at WPTV.
As we look back tonight, we also look to the here and now, celebrating the people dedicated to serving our community on air and behind the scenes.
From anchors to reporters, producers, directors, photographers, you name it. Such a huge team effort to get on air and online each day.
Here is a look through photojournalist Bob Leake's camera.
August 22nd, 1954. Local television is about to become a permanent part of our lives through Channel 5.
Channel 5 in the Palm Beaches now takes the air with 100,000 watts video power.
#1 rated television station in Florida. This is News Channel 5 at 5.
Good evening, I'm Chandra Bill.
And I'm Kelly Dunn. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, WPTV.
When we say like everything from violent incidents in schools, mental health resources, bus safety, demographic.
Local TV news is still the best source of news in our community. Because when you think about it, okay, where do you go when there's breaking news?
Right now, breaking overnight.
And it's happening locally. Where do you go when you want information about a hurricane approaching? Where do you go when you want to feel inspired by Steve Weagle's Ride for the Red Cross or Food for Families? You know, where do you go? You go to local TV news. So I think in many respects, even though there have been many changes over the years, it's still a place where the community turns.
Today, the timing is something the White House keeps close to the vest.
There are different ways to consume news. You don't necessarily have to sit and watch a half-hour newscast. You can live stream. You can look on Facebook. You can look on websites. You can, take the Channel 5 app. So the way that we're consuming news has kind of changed.
Opening round will feature a Florida face-off Panthers.
All new at 10 tonight, the city of Riviera Beach could soon learn the results of an investigation into the city's water.
I just think like when you're out in your communities, when you really get to do your job, and the only time you really get to, get to know your community. When you're inside this building, yes, you're making the phone calls, you're reading the news articles, you're fact checking, you're writing, you're listening to interviews you've done. But when you're out there, that's when the magic happens. That's the most special thing about what we do as journalists is the people that we get to meet.
Thank you.
That ultimately end up changing us for the better.
I hope you can help someone with this.
That's our goal.
We can never rest on our success. It's a daily challenge that must be pursued with vigor, integrity, honesty, and never take anything for granted.
I felt and still feel that in my lifetime that this is the most special group that I've been around. And I've been around a lot of people. And that means everybody at Channel 5 for that matter.
I was at WPTV for more than 20 years, and that is not that unusual. That was the funny thing. People would come to WPTV and not leave. It happened then, and it still happens today.
Good show, guys. Thank you. Nice show. Thank you, you guys.
I think of people like engineers at a transmitter site who literally keep us on the air. You may never meet them, but people like those engineers, like so many other people, make our jobs easy. It's the camaraderie that a TV station has that's so special.
I mean, it truly is a team effort. It's all of us working together.
And we see it time and again, from breaking news to hurricane coverage to everyday broadcasts. We could not do it without the dozens, if not more than 150 or so folks behind the scenes every single night.
And we talked about this earlier in the bathroom, remember? No, seriously. When it doesn't rain for a while.
This is getting out of hand.
Jim, just sit there.
We're a close group of
friends. Don't help me out here.
Tanya, help us out here with the first look at the morning traffic, would you? And if you want to explain any of that, feel free.
I wish I could. The only thing was I was in the bathroom too. I think I'm in trouble too.
As we remember 70 years of news, we also remember lots of laughs. It has been so much fun taking a look back in time, walking down memory lane in so many cases. We certainly are so grateful for everyone at home.
Time really does fly.
It does.
A little too quickly sometimes.
It has.
And it's so much fun seeing video of ourselves when we were younger. It's like, oh my goodness. Like, can we go back to that?
Wouldn't that be nice? Well, we really hope that you have enjoyed being with us as much as we have enjoyed celebrating our 70th anniversary.
And all of us at WPTV across the years, and every story we have told and every memory we have shared, simply a reflection of you.
Of your community, your hopes and hard work, your laughter, sometimes your tears, your dreams, that then, now, and always define the place we all call home. We thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey, and we leave you with some pictures through the years.